That's right, folks. Live here at Free Admission Studios, this is the Gym Crashers with me, Joey the Bull, Adam Youngblood, and our special guest, Luis Toro Moreno. Moreno, like Dan Marino? Is there any relation?
Moreno.
Oh, Moreno. Oh, Moreno.
I'm Italian, but more Mexican.
Oh, yeah?
Last name, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, so you have like a burrito with loaded with meatballs and spaghetti
I'll take it. I'll eat it.
all day.
It's like
Freaking a
my
carne asada
Carly.
calzone.
Don't tell me with a good time, man.
Hey, that's honestly before, because honestly I had the surgery done, so I can't eat that stuff anymore. Back in the day, I loved calzones. My mother, you know, because I'm assuming my mom tells me I think we have a little Sicilian in our blood. So growing up, I didn't eat your traditional Hispanic food. My mom made pasta, spaghetti, anything you think of every day. I got older, I got tired of it. My wife, she loves it, and she thinks Olive Garden is the best Italian food ever. But you know, it is what it is. But welcome to the show, brother.
Oh, good to be here, man. Thank you. Thanks
So-
for having me.
So, you know, you got this whole big thing, Fighters Rep in November. I mean, this is going to be a huge deal. I remember the last fight, you were just giving it to hell like a monster, like a bull itself.
I know.
Last fight was the first fight in like 5 years.
Really?
Yeah, so it was good to get out there, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
part of me was
No
just
wonder
like,
he was swinging at my head when I was on the
Dude,
outside. He just saw heads and he was going for everything.
anything. Anybody could get it that day, man.
Don't stand ringside when this man is in that corner.
Or any fight, man.
Any fight, don't. Have your head movement ready.
So where's that name come, the nickname, Toro?
Toro.
Yeah.
This is kind of a crazy story, man. When I was younger,
I think something's wrong with this microphone.
Uh-oh.
close.
Whoa.
No,
Maybe
it's not you. There's something wrong with the microphone.
you guys in the right test 1 2 test 1 2. Did he plug?
Much better.
Okay.
Good.
I think what happened is I think Donald didn't click it incorrect. So
It's all good.
1
We
2.
are
Can
just
you?
a quick little bit of technical difficulties. Our
Got
Gym
that
Crashers
voice,
fans,
man.
but
Mike can't handle it.
no, spitting hot fire.
He's good. Okay. Once again, we have the one and only Toro in the house.
What's
Luis Moreno.
Moreno.
Moreno. See, I'm sorry. You know, honestly, my Spanish. Honestly, I tell you, people.
More
I tell,
Italian than Mexican.
and that's why I tell people. Like I was a coconut in my neighborhood. I grew up in the rough neighborhood. Although all the cholitos had the shaved head, the white shirts, and the Dickies. Where I grew up as a skater kid. You know, so I was more of the coconut. The only Spanish I know is off a menu and bad words. That's
That's
it.
all you need to know, man.
Yeah, that's it. Because some people come approach me and hey, señor, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, no habla español. They look at me like, yeah, why? I'm like, I'm sorry, I
People
don't.
were playing soccer.
Just
Joey
want
was
burrito,
kickflipping
bro.
apparently.
I know, burrito. Want to get a burrito? Cerveza? But anyway, so we're talking about your fight coming up for Fighters Rep. We talked about your fight last time. We almost knocked out our camera guy in the
Wasn't-
corner.
Yeah, man. I promise you, I wasn't trying to hit you.
I believe
It would've been
I
awesome.
believe you.
Sorry.
It would have
I
been
know,
awesome.
It's a punchable face. I understand.
I would have laughed my
I don't
ass
blame
off.
you. It would have been a hilarious highlight reel. I would have taken it too.
Well,
and I would have put that right on my Instagram.
Well, he needed it because honestly, his job through the whole show. I'm
Hey,
not
hey,
going to bring up
hey,
too
hey,
much. His job at the last show was to make sure the camera guy got in and out of the ring. The problem is there was a couple of ring girls sitting in the corner,
we got to tell the whole story.
and this guy was macking, trying to get numbers.
I wasn't mad. Hey.
He got a date out of it.
Hey,
he did
sir.
get it. He did get a date out of it.
She started the conversation with me. I just entertained it.
And the poor camera guy's in the corner trying to get in the ring. I'm like, yo, Adam. He's like, oh. And then I'm like, dude, get away from the girls. I know they're hot and all, but damn, bro.
I can't contain all this 6'2" sexiness, Joey. What do you want me to do?
I mean, I always tell
I
people,
was born this beautiful.
give this guy a wig for Halloween. Looks like Howard Stern. I mean, he'll be the perfect Howard Stern. Baba Booey all day. So we're talking about your nickname, Toro. Because I'm Joey the Bull. And my nickname comes from a way huge background. But, but your story is probably more interesting than mine. So where did Toro come from?
So I grew up on a ranch when I was a little younger. Not on a ranch, but we used to go, like my dad had horses and we used to go ride, and they had cows too, you know what I mean? And there was a bull. And, just another day, one day we go to the ranch and the animals are out. And I forgot what was going on, but I think I was playing with my brother. And all of a sudden, I run around the truck and I just look and the bull sees me. I'm just 5 years old, you know what I mean? And I happen to be wearing red, so I don't think that was good either, you know what I mean? But Yeah, man. So that day, the bull just like ended up charging me, and that was pretty crazy. You know what I mean? Now that I think back on it, but my dad ended up coming up and like just pulling me by like, I think by like my shirt and my belt, and just like swung me out the way. So like
Damn.
the bull's like maybe to where the TV's at right now, and then all of a sudden I just go flying. You know what I mean? But I like that day, probably the scare. My dad was like, "Nah, man, you're I'm never gonna forget that. You're Toto now." You know what I mean?
That's crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
man.
So you got your nickname by taking the said animal head on.
I mean, you're young, man. You don't. I mean, I didn't know what was going on, but there was nothing telling me get the hell out of the way either. You know what I mean? So I was just, it was just like, okay.
And that is a cool story, because it's like, that's how it was. A lot of, like me being part of the native blood, that's how a lot of the native Indians got their names, from common things around them.
Experiences.
And I can imagine, I mean, Adam, did you have an experience when you were young? Maybe did you see a turtle and they would call you Adam the turtle? I mean,
No,
Adam the butterfly? I mean,
no crazy animal experiences I can think of like that. Not at least like that.
he probably farted. I call him Adam the
I
peddle.
was in Hawaii, petted a sea turtle when I wasn't supposed to. I guess that's
Adam the
wildest
sea
animal
turtle.
Experience. I don't know.
There
I
you
swam
go,
with
that's
a
your new
sea
name.
turtle. That was cool.
Works, man. Yeah.
Not as exciting as almost getting ran over by a bull. Like, I think all my animal experiences are pretty lame in comparison to that. I don't know. I rode a horse when I was 5 in Mexico. Like,
Okay.
I got nothing to top that story.
Yeah, that's what I'm about
Joey.
to say. I mean, that you're boring. So I did a little research on you. So I see you're a wrestler.
So yeah, I wrestled in high school.
High school. What high school?
Torrance High School.
Torrance. Okay, cool.
Don't forget the man jiu-jitsu brown belt.
Well, I mean, I was doing some research on this gentleman here, and I saw he's a wrestler. I mean, wrestlers come from somewhere.
Well, it started off, with jiu-jitsu, but it led to the wrestling because
Okay.
you want to get better at.
Yeah, of course.
You want to be better at what you're doing. You know what I mean? So, wrestling was right there. I wrestled 2 years in high school only, but I wish I would have done the full 4 years. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But it was good, man. For 2 years, having that experience, I didn't go far. Probably could have gone a little farther too, but I ended up slacking a little bit in high school. But
Hey, it's high school
live
days.
and learn, man. It is what it is, and just keep going.
And
It made me better too. Like wrestling in high school, like wrestling period. It's if you can do that, you can do anything, man.
it is true, because when I used to train a bunch of kids back in the day, one of my students did judo. And
That's
so
super.
when he
That's a good
did a
art.
judo first, then he went straight to high school to wrestle, and he was a beast. I mean, because mixing that with wrestling together, it was just nuts. Because his takedowns everything you think of, it was just amazing. Mixing those two martial arts or type of combat sports together, and that's why I always tell folks: get your kids into jiu-jitsu right away, and then when they get to high school, get them to wrestling. I guarantee state champs all the way. Guarantee.
Or in middle school programs
Big
as well.
advantage, man.
Yeah,
It helps.
big advantage, huge. Because I see kids nowadays on YouTube. These kids going crazy, like little ones, just doing double takedown singles, and like
They
what
get
the hell?
after
They
it,
get
huh?
they get crazy.
Also,
Attitude.
too, the dexterity that's built up at such a young age, just by the fact that you can handle those metric loads within those movements, is a lot better. Versus, like, for someone like me who learned to wrestle a little bit at 19, it's a lot harder. Like, it sucks. Like,
It's-
you're like, I
Combat
feel like my
sports
hips
too,
are gonna
man.
tear all the time. Like,
And you see it with a lot of even like coming up, the young females are getting to wrestling now. Because I remember back when I was going to high school, and you probably had that one girl out of some random high school that were like, wow, girl wrestling. Now it's huge now. It's huge. Girls or young women are taking wrestling in high school, and they're pursuing their career and taking jiu-jitsu. Now they're in MMA. So it's like crazy when they have that
that
background.
was like the fascinating, because like it kind of started when I went to high school. Like, it went from like there would be like 1 or 2 girls, but by my senior year there was like a decent amount. Like there was like at least like a 5 or like 5 or 6 or like at least a full team.
Really?
Yeah, it was like cool. Like it just blew up within those 4 years.
Were they any good?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So-
Hey, shout out to the girls in high school. No, I played golf. Right?
Makes sense, bro. That makes sense.
Makes sense.
Golf.
Yeah. I played golf and just worked out with my football buddies. I played golf and
Oh,
lift
good,
weights.
man.
That was pretty much
Well,
it.
I can't talk shit because in high school I played freshman year of football. Then after that, my grades slipped. So I tried wrestling next year, and my grades weren't any good. And then I did track and field, shot put and disc. And then after that, final thing called dancing and singing. So I sang and danced the rest of my high school years into college.
That's good.
You know, I was a ham. I was a big star
Tried
back then.
everything,
I
huh?
tried everything.
And
So
I was an unsuccessful lifter.
And so what got you into the whole fight game? I mean, you're in this game now. I mean, where'd you start off? How young were you when you got into the front ring and had the first taste of the gloves and mitts and everything getting hit?
I was maybe 15 when I first started. I had wanted to do it since I was 13 though, because UFC was on TV and everything. You know what I mean? So you know, watching like repeats of like Anderson Silva and like Nick Diaz, you're just like, oh, people fight in the ring and they get paid. I was like, maybe I want to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, of course.
So
Who needs a 9 to 5?
right? Or,
Well, everybody needs a
I
man.
mean, I mean, if you don't have to, you don't want to. You know,
Right?
You shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Don't.
Well, it's like the argument between right now between De La Hoya and Dana White. Remember, it's a whole big thing going now. That De La Hoya is saying that Dana White's not paying all of his fighters not enough, and
Everybody's appears
It's-
to be saying that. Man.
yeah, it's.
Like,
I want to see that fight. I want to see De La Hoya versus Dana White because right now they hate each other.
I like Kevin Holland's take on it though. Like he had a
Kevin
really
Holland's take.
interesting take about it. Well, the thing is like when you think about it and you break down the pay about it, right? Think about other fields. You're constantly comparing the amount that fighters get paid to other sports, but also too, you're not comparing the fact that they only really get a chance to perform 1 to 2 times a year. So imagine you're working a job and you only get a payday of 1 to 2 times a year. You take a guy like Kevin Holland, you see the amount of money he's made from fighting multiple times a year. Does he have the prettiest record? No. Is the guy driving muscle cars and resto mods? Yes.
I mean, exactly.
So, and does he have a good amount of sponsors from the
Well,
following
sponsors,
he produced?
that's what it
Yes,
is.
So
Well,
it's this.
Donald Cerrone fought what 5 times in 1 year too, man.
Yeah,
He's
5.
got- he's retired on a ranch right now, living it up. You know what I
The
mean?
BMF ranch.
If you can get after, man, you should be getting after.
Yeah.
Like 1 to
Yeah.
2, that's like that was GSP in his prime. You know what I mean? Like he didn't have to fight no more than 1 to 2 times a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nah, if you're coming up, you gotta fight frequently, man. That's why November 5th was just perfect. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, hop
get
right back in.
there.
Yeah. So back to your story about fighting. So you got into fighting at 15, started fighting, hitting the bags. Now, when did you actually get the taste of a ring, and
Fought
start making
First time,
Yeah.
I was 20.
20?
I was
Okay.
20 or I think I was 19.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a Muay Thai fight in fought all the way out in Pomona and like a dude. Check this out in like a rodeo ring. You know what I mean? So
Wait, what?
I swear to God, crazy story. Now that I
So
think
like
about
it
you
wasn't
know?
even like a ring. It was just like
Well,
wooden
it was,
posts.
It was IFS and it was a sick ass show, by the way. But dude, it was like a rodeo rink. You know what I mean? In the dirt, they had like the stands for the crowd, but we did put us on mats and on the sand and
What?
got after it, man.
Damn.
That was my first show too. You know what I mean?
What was
So
it
you-
like fighting on mats that are on sand? Because I feel like that would make it really
it's
uneven.
the ring. It's the ring up there, like a Muay Thai
Oh,
fight.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But like the match for the warm up area, it's like over here, and you
Oh.
would walk to the ring at the end. But in a ring, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you stepping like cow
Waiting for the
shit
photo to
and
come out. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
yeah. That's perfect.
My first knockout too, man.
Oh,
Hell
really?
yeah.
That was the shit.
Was it a quick
I'm
one?
sorry.
No, it's all good. You can cuss. It's
Hey,
all
you can
good.
cuss on the show.
It was 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
15 seconds.
Damn.
Yeah.
What was it? Overhand right, check left.
It was the overhand started it, the right dropped him, and he got up, and then it was like a leg kick to like a hook cross hook combo, and the ref stopped it.
Oh man, he was ready to go
It felt
memes.
good, man. Dude. I mean, yeah. After that one, because I was kind of like cautious with it because I didn't want to ruin a good thing. You know what I mean? You
Of
gotta
course.
do it hurt. You know, you gotta do it right.
Yeah,
now, you
of
know what I
course.
mean?
Yeah, can't get
But-
overexcited.
But nah, man. As soon as I got him, ref called it, and that was it, man. It was great. Chasing that feeling though.
Damn.
Fit.
So you had that first win. You had to do the weigh-ins. After you had that first win, did you go give it a hell and eat everything you wanted to eat? Because I know the weigh-ins are probably a bitch, right? I mean, you
Well,
had to.
yeah, man. This last one was, and yeah, dude, food is Food, we have a crazy relationship with food, man. But yeah, we're gonna do better with that.
So does he eat a lot at home?
Oh yeah, you don't lie.
No, off the set, we do have his wife here in the house, so I'm just asking questions, you know.
I gotta come correct right now. I can't lie in front of y'all today.
So are you gonna be able to make
Gotta feed
weigh-ins
the
for
bull.
November?
Dude, I haven't missed weight yet. Not
Yeah.
happening. Not gonna happen. But haven't missed weight, dude. So I'm
Man.
good.
Well, thank goodness it's happening right in the beginning of November because you know you have Thanksgiving and Christmas. You have Thanksgiving dinner. You have Christmas tamales and the whole shebang. And
I don't know if you know Rage, man, but he'll fight. He'll put me on a fight December 23rd.
jeez.
and I'll fight it. You know
And
what
how
I mean?
is it? How is it to train with Rage, man? He's one of our good friends here on the show. He's a great guy. I mean, with Bulletproof Troop.
I know you're wearing the shirt.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
congratulations to Bulletproof Troop. He had a show
For
this
real.
past Saturday,
Hell
wrestling
yeah.
show. It was phenomenal.
Hey.
Did I meet you before at Black House?
I think I did,
You're
bro.
with Matthias, right?
Yeah.
Matthias and
Dude.
Brady, right?
Yes, I did. I have met you before.
Yeah.
Good to see you again, dude.
I was familiar. I was like, I seen this kid somewhere before.
A little, right? But just couldn't freaking put a
then
finger on
when
it.
he said Rage, I think it was probably the time that Matthias was
You came
training.
on like a Friday for sparring, right?
I did too. Well, I've been there a few times.
Few
on Friday,
times,
yeah.
right?
But did you train with Matthias?
Yeah, I trained with them
I
and
think it was
Rage.
you and Brady. You and Brady. Was it
Yeah.
Brady Wong, Brady.
Brady was training with us at the time, yeah.
you two guys, yeah.
Nah, man, it was good, dude. It's good. It's Ire Division, by the way.
Yeah.
What's up, Rage? Yeah. So, Ire Division is pretty much right now me and a couple other guys, and my coaches are Rage and Matthias. So and
Awesome.
Bolt Wrestling at Black House MMA too. So we're all
Yeah,
shout out
together,
Kenny
man.
Johnson.
Thank you guys. Yeah, for real.
Wow.
I was with Matthias on Monday. He came down to meet me for a project.
Did he really?
Yeah, like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon sometime. He said he came from training at Redondo
On Monday.
on Monday afternoon.
Don't tell me nothing.
So train with Rage. That must be. I mean, because I always hear. I've seen the guy in action in the corners of all these fighters, and
Yes.
hearing this guy. We had him on our show last time, and hearing his background. He's a badass coach. I mean, he don't.
He's the kind of guy you
He's.
want in your
I
corner.
like his theory. A lot of people don't like his theory, but I like his theory is that when that bell rings, boom. I mean, you got to do it before that bell
And
rings again.
And dude, for this fight, that's a lot of what I was taking. You know what I mean? Like get out there and get after it. Like finish it.
Quick.
If you can, get this guy out of there in the first round. And that was the whole mentality.
Oh
And,
yeah, it's crazy, and I love that mentality. I love that
by
whole.
the way, Jonathan Montoya, respect, dude. Like that was I hit you with everything I could, man.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't go nowhere, man. So respect, dude. That was a great fight. Thank you.
Oh man, as somebody who was again ringside of that, hearing those shots, that was a
Dude,
great.
cracked them.
I know.
I
That was a
looked
great
back
fight
in
to
the-
open the show up.
Looked back in the replays, man. There's like one time I got him clean. I was like, come on, what are you still doing there? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
dude, like this dude's a warrior, man. Like
Man had a chin.
and he hit he didn't stop, man. Like the pressure at the beginning of the fight was just as hard as the end, you know, like it was good.
That was a very, very high paced fight.
Yeah, man.
I gotta ask, since it was a very high paced fight, what is your strength and conditioning looking like?
It's looking good right now, man. It's my coach was timing me in the corner. He was like, we're gonna work from this, you know what I mean? I think he said I was we work on our explosiveness and all that. He times it in a fight, you know what I mean? So he was like, you did good, but we can do more, you know what I mean? Like we're gonna get you farther. And I think he said I did a minute of just going hard in the first round, and he said it declined like maybe 10 and then like 20 seconds later in the fight. So he was like, we're gonna put some. I'm gonna switch things up for you, not for Raymond, my teammate Raymond. He's like, I'm gonna keep Raymond the same, but I'm gonna switch things up with you. You know what I mean? So we're working a little differently, but I think we're still gonna. I think I gave a good account of myself in this first fight, especially with the time off. You know, coming back with the new. How would you say, the mentality that Rage is given, the one belt mentality, trying to implement it in the fight for the first time. You know, it didn't go as planned, but there's always next time, man. November 5th is coming up like sooner.
And I can't
later, man.
wait.
Not
I
one you
can't
don't wanna
wait.
miss.
It's gonna be crazy.
This guy Jenkins, you know, he's a
Yep.
Muay Thai guy, and I like fighting Muay Thai guys. You know what I mean? Like I fought two Muay Thai fights, my first time. So
Nice.
it's gonna be good, man. I can't wait.
Nice.
Now, since you have fought 2 Muay Thai fights, or 2 Muay Thai style fights, and
3 actually. I'm sorry.
3?
2 I won. 1 I lost. I don't count it, but I should. It's 3 Muay Thai fights.
we don't gotta worry about that one. We're focused on the highlight reel here, and
there was some highlights, but
yeah.
but still lost, man. It was a decision too.
What is it like fighting under the fighter's rep rule set, where I feel like you really converted your style very well, where it really kind of benefits, your style, which was kind of a little more boxing heavy within this first fight,
Yeah, man.
where you're trying to
I heard that
land
a
the
lot.
power shots,
I read
and
that
you
a
had a
lot.
very good head movement, and it's not like the most. If you've seen like fighters rep in comparison to a lot of other kickboxing competitions, you see it benefits a lot more of the accurate strikers, and not to say like guys didn't find success with their kicks. Khalil Silva had a head kick knockout of 8 seconds,
Fast, yeah.
so fast, and but it really does benefits a little bit more of guys with boxing backgrounds and who can throw some hands like you.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, like I'm doing striking fights, man. But this is because I'm a grappler. You know what I mean? Like, I've been grappling for about 10 years. You know what I mean? In between, there was some on and off time too. So, but for 10 years, I've been exposed to the art of grappling, and like you said, I'm a brown belt. So like, it's always gonna be my go-to, my jiu-jitsu and my wrestling. You know what I mean? But the thing with Rage is like, we know what you got, but we gotta get you good in this. So he's putting me in the line of fire, man, and you gotta do it. Straight striking, kicks, legs. Different with this kickboxing stuff too, because Muay Thai you could at least clinch. You could do Thai plum, you can throw, you can trip. Kickboxing, the ref was like, as soon as he caught my kick with underhand after I teeped, like the ref was like backed up. He's like, don't do it again. He tried to clinch me one time. The ref was like, stop, like don't do it again. Like it's different. It's like boxing, but with kicks.
Oh, yeah,
if
exactly.
that makes sense. It's kickboxing. You know what I mean?
K1 rules.
It's exactly what it is, man. But
And I want to give a big shout out. George Francis is watching the show right now,
you, man.
and he said
Thank you,
also
George.
on our poster, he says incredible fight. That's what he's telling us right now.
Oh, it was
thank
the
you,
best.
brother. Appreciate
So
it.
and he's gonna give another incredible fight coming November.
Got
So
you,
we're gonna
man.
see
Got
this
you.
happen.
Don't blink, man.
Don't
Seriously,
blink. Don't go to
And move
sleep.
your heads.
Whoa.
And make sure you pay attention.
Yeah, dude.
Well-
I thought you were talking to me, man.
No, I'm talking to myself.
I was like, what you trying to
No.
So where'd you grow
That
up?
was the opposite. You had amazing head movement in this
Nah,
fight.
I got hit a lot, dude.
Doubt.
I'll
It
get to you in a
happens.
second,
Yeah.
brother.
But I
Nah.
feel like your head movement was great. The first highlight that came out was literally you slipping punches.
That's the first round, and that's like a slow-mo of like maybe 10, 15, 20 seconds, you know what I mean? It looks good. I like the way I looked, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But I hit too much, man. I don't mind it. I embrace it. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
kind of a good and a bad thing, but I'm working to move a lot better. This is a big fucking target. You know what I mean?
Believe me.
Gotta move that around. You know what I'm saying?
I have a big head too, and it's funny because, like I said, when I used to do the dabble in the boxing, I used to play a lot of my music. Honestly, I used to play with a lot of like merengue, salsa, so I kind of went with the music, shoulders moving, dancing around the ring, and that was my style. Confused the shit out of everybody because everybody's so used to doing the 1 2 1 2 kind of like this. Me, I was just dance. I was a dancer. So I love confusing everybody.
You were
And
a showman.
I was a showman.
That's right.
I mean, I get hit in the gut and
Man,
whatever, but hey.
Sport needs showmen, dude.
Oh yeah.
You don't believe.
Oh, and I love dancing in the ring when I used to spar with people, and that was my thing. But the big head, yeah, believe me, I know.
Nah, dude,
it sucks, especially trying to wear headgear that fits your head
It's
too.
a blessing and a curse, dude.
It is. That's why he used to hate wearing headgear because it never fit, and he used to choke me. So I had to take it off. I get hit in the head. I don't care.
That's what I said, dude. This is a fight 3. You want to fight with headgear and shins? I'm
I
like,
go,
no.
no.
I get a choice? No.
I hate headgear. It just suffocates me. I just don't like
doesn't
it.
matter. I don't even care about getting hit with no headgear. I'm just like, I just don't want to freaking wear headgear. You
No,
know what
it's
I mean?
just too much. It's too much.
Sometimes that thing, it just gets in the way of your line of sight too.
That too, man. And this
Mm-hmm.
shit. My first fight, I was doing this with my gloves like half the time because this thing was coming here,
Oh,
going
jeez.
there.
Yeah.
So back to my question. So where were you born and raised? Are you from out here in Southern California? Or
Yeah,
you-
Southern California. I was born in San Pedro.
San Pedro. Okay.
And I was raised in Lomita.
Mm-hmm.
Went to school, all schools in Torrance. You know what I mean? So South Bay kid, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Did you grow up that hood life? You know, like street life, and not really.
Not really, man.
really?
Like I grew up well. Like my
Okay,
parents
that's
owned
good.
a restaurant,
Oh, that's good.
so you know, chubby white Mexican kid. You know,
As a question, is the restaurant still there?
it's still alive.
Oh
man.
well. Oh, well. Hey,
The restaurant.
you don't tell Robert. Yeah, he's gonna tear up that
I'll
place.
hook you up right now, man.
I mean, honestly, I can only eat this small now, but he'll help me out.
Oh no, man! It was. I never went hungry. You put it that way.
Damn.
growing up, dude.
Never went hungry. Man,
Dude, it was good, man.
must be nice.
I need to get down there and put on some weight. You know, fix these skinny
Look at
arms,
this guy, freaking
Yeah.
Twiggy over here.
stick and bones. You know, like
He needs to put some manteca on that shit.
Oh, dude, get you right real fast.
So, what kind of food do you have at the restaurant?
It's Mexican food.
Mexican. Okay,
You
okay.
know, friggin'
Oh, that's
carnitas, carne asada,
damn
what was your
barbacoa,
favorite
all
meal
that.
growing up
fajitas.
there?
I used to eat shrimp and fries all the time.
Shrimp and fries.
That's
Man, I
That's the
love
only
that.
thing I would think about.
Well, give your family a shout out restaurant. Let people know where the restaurant's at.
Tasco Restaurant, San Pedro on Western Mont. I love you.
There you-
Yeah, man, it's
there you
it's
go.
good. Go check it out. It's a new location too for the locals. You know what I mean? They used to have it right there on Capitol, but now they've got a new location. So go check them out.
How
man.
long? How long they been in business?
Longer than I've been born, man.
Well,
Wow.
they've
I
been
don't
doing this
remember
for a
the date,
long
but
time.
longer
That
than
means
I've been
good
born, man.
food. That means if they've been in business that long time, that means it's good food. Check out the family restaurant. If you didn't hear that, you could always replay the show and write it down.
Please do.
Check it out because
Please,
it's
please.
showing love to the
Support.
family.
Yeah, man, please, dude.
Because
That'd be great.
honestly, I mean,
Tell them Toro sent you.
Toro. I mean, you're not getting no shit for free. I'm just
ain't
saying.
getting no discounts.
Maybe a
Yeah.
free soda.
You know me. You saw me.
A free tortilla here. That's all you get.
Comes with the meal.
You're not getting no free taco over
Gotta
here.
tell 'em that. We can hide that part.
So that's cool. So you grow up with the family, own business, eating, enjoying life, training, fighting, gotten your first 3 or 4 fights already, getting this one. Now, what's your daily routine? When you wake up in the morning, do you obviously working, or you go straight to training now? Or what do you do? How's your...
Nowadays, man, I'm training 8:30 in the morning all the way until like maybe like 2, the
Okay.
latest. You know what I mean? Maybe a little later, but mostly like 1:30 I'm out of there. But a lot of training, so 8 in the morning to 1, and then hang out for a little bit. You know, see my family for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then now we teaching, helping my sensei over there. Another shout out to my sensei, Pedro Soriano, BJJ over there in San Pedro.
That's right.
Best fucking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the world, goddamn
Best fucking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You heard it right here.
Yes.
Fucking.
it. Yeah, man. So you're teaching there, teaching kids, you know, teaching adults, you know, learning still, working on that black belt, you know, want to see it tied around my
It's
waist
coming.
as soon as I can, you know what I mean? No
Yeah.
rush, but it's part of the goal, you know what I mean? It's just another goal to reach. So
So that must feel good, when you're training the kids, the youth, and the adults, showing them like your skill, and they're actually embracing it, and it's showing like, hey, we put you in a tournament, and they're doing their thing, winning little trophies,
Yeah,
medals, and
man,
you're like, you're
man.
because of this guy right here, it's just,
Oh, man,
it's a good, it's
do-
a good feeling, and you're humble about it, but it's a good feeling,
I do what I can for them, you know what I mean? Anything I can do for anybody there, you know, always. It's been like that. I've been there 10 years and then 11 years, you know what I mean? Since I was 15. So
That's good, man.
that's home, you know what I mean?
That's
as far
awesome.
as I'm concerned.
That's
How does it
awesome.
feel to be a professor there now? Like, what was it like?
Professor.
Well, teacher.
He's taking notes.
I mean, it's cool, man. I like to teach, man. I like to be around it. You know, it's what I wanted to do since I was young. You know, just be in the arts. You know, martial artist, be a fighter. To you know, make that my life. You know, and it's what I've been doing. You know, so
Living the dream,
life
guys.
is good, bro. It's a struggle, but
Hey,
if you're happy,
it's what makes life worth
the
it.
struggle's worth it. You know what I mean?
It is true, and especially if we're training kids like what I had in my camp for a while. I trained a bunch of kids. Now they're all adults, and a lot of them went to college, got scholarships for wrestling, and now they're actually training camps themselves. And it's a good feeling. It's a struggle because honestly, when we had our camp, we didn't make any money off it. My brother and I did it for free to help the kids out in the neighborhood that couldn't afford training.
A camp for like a summer camp?
No, it's like a full-on whole year MMA camp we had, just a full-on
cool.
year-round. So we helped all these kids that couldn't afford, came from bad neighborhoods, that needed the help. That mom and dad were either working or just mom was just working because they had no dad, and so we brought him into our family, and we trained these kids for how many years to watch them from being in junior high, high school through graduating high school, now going to
it's
college,
fun, right?
and watch these kids grow and from being a little punk ass to now a young man that they're doing shit right in their life.
Yeah.
And it's cool to get that feeling. I know what you're talking about. And like I said, I didn't make a dime, but the gym that we were at blessed us with everything for free.
Oh, man.
And it was nice. And I did it for the love, to help these kids out, because
Absolutely.
I've been there and done that where
Yeah,
I
man.
couldn't afford training, but I had coaches that were like, hey, Joey, as long as you clean up the floors or put up the chairs, go
Just
ahead.
do your part. What
Do your
you
part.
can.
Well, sometimes too, I think the memories can outweigh any monetary thing you gain in this life.
Well, yeah, man. These kids went to a tournament. These teens that we had, there was a couple young ones too, man. They went to fight in San Diego, man. Put on a great display of jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean?
Nice.
And it's crazy because that age, like there's this blue belt. His name is Haciel. Like he fought his first tournament like that too, I think. And I remember like when I was 15 and I tried to fight. And, he's 16, a blue belt, but I started at 15 years old and I was a white belt.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing him get out there, I was just like, man, like it brings back memories, man. Like you see the emotions, you see, they lose but they're sad, but you see them like in the gym the next day, and it's awesome, man. Honestly, it brought a fire back to me that I needed, to be
Yeah.
back and get into that mentality just when I was young, when I really wanted it, you know what I mean? And get back to that hunger, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It just brings more energy to the process. You
Of
know?
course.
Inspiring.
So when you have this fight in November and you take this big W, do you see yourself pursuing or pushing yourself to go even higher and into a bigger circle where maybe let's try to make this happen. Let's try to go to a bigger arena and become that person where your level is way up here
The
now.
goal is to be champion. It's always been, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
no one wants to get punched in the face for nothing. You know
No.
what I mean?
No.
No.
Like, if you do, respect, but you crazy. You know what I mean? So I think
And there are those fighters out there.
there are, man, and it's cool. You do what you got to do for yourself and for your people around you, and that's great, man. But for me, respectfully, like I want that gold around the waist, that feeling. You know what I mean? The crowd, like chanting, like that energy, dude.
Yeah.
Just-
George, he's hungry. He needs
Yeah.
that belt, George.
dude.
Let's get that
I
going.
mean, with time, you know what I mean?
With time, but
We got-
let's get this belt in this guy pretty soon.
We gotta cook it up a little.
Yeah,
first,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
But
Yeah, of
I
course.
want to
Yeah.
get there, man. I want big things. I expect big things for myself as a fighter. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
of course.
We believe it. Well, since you've already said you've dabbled both now in the striking arts, have an experience in the grappling arts, have you ever had an MMA fight or been considering one?
The goal is to fight MMA.
I believe it.
As a brown belt in jiu-jitsu and being a grappler, being my base, you know what I mean? The goal is to fight MMA, but I need to become a striker as well as all that before or along the way. It's amateur MMA, it's amateur kickboxing, as far as the professional part of it, we're not making much money yet, so it doesn't really have pull as far as like winning and losing. The valuable thing right now is experience, getting those minutes, those reps, those knockouts. That is what is what you want. And so I'm enjoying my amateur life, dude. Like this last fight was, like I said, I lost. Sucks to lose. I didn't feel good about losing, but as far as competing and fighting and getting back out there, I'm happy with what I did for what I showed of my improvement and where I've come, and I'm glad because it shows where I'm going. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I know where I want to go with it.
Definitely, because we got to obviously talk like immediately
Yeah, man.
after
Me
your
and you,
fight. Yeah,
you
we-
met me in a crazy time, man. Cutting
Yeah.
weight is no joke. I'm
Yeah.
sorry if I was.
No, you
if I
were
was a
nothing
little
but a
crazy.
gentleman.
Oh,
No,
good, man.
Yeah, you were nothing but a
That
nice
was
guy.
after I got some water in me, I think.
Yeah. And obviously, I said, invited you on the show, and here
Oh
you
man,
are
you
now.
you told me anytime, and I was like, just let me know, man. Happy
Yeah.
to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like also too, one thing I really respected after our conversation, after your match, is the fact that, yes, obviously, like anybody who's a competitor, you're gonna take a loss hard, but you weren't like a sore loser about it. You're just
No,
like,
man.
I went out, I did what I could, I got some things to improve on. Like, you were very honest about yourself. You're like, what really stuck out to me is like, what you said was, I was replaying it back in my head, and I'm just going over the shots that I didn't make or the shots that I didn't take, and so you were already looking to improve, which I
Whoa.
think is a very key thing, because it's easy to go out there, get the first round knockout or get the highlight reel, all
Yeah,
that. It's a
man.
lot harder
And it's-
to take a loss, but take the pros and the cons from that performance and improve on it.
Absolutely, man.
Which is why you should be excited for November 5th when this guy gets back in there.
Yeah, man. It's cliche, but you win or you learn. And sometimes winning can be a detrimental thing to somebody's career
Yes.
because you win with the wrong things or the wrong way. And that'll get you so far, you know what I mean? Until you're really on display for everybody and the realness needs to come out and it's not there.
Yeah.
And that's not what I want. You know what I mean? I'm trying to, not be, no lie, just put the work in, be gritty about it. You know what I mean? If I
Sometimes-
gotta fight 2 months at a time, like sooner, if I can, if it's a good fight for myself, I'll do it,
And you must have a great support team with the wife and everybody else is supporting you, the family,
Absolutely,
just
man.
giving it hell
Hell
and
yeah.
being there for you, because a lot of stuff you have to sacrifice to be where you're at. That's a lot of love right there, man. And then
Yeah,
that's
I couldn't do it without the support of my family.
and that's
Hell no.
that's a main
You know what
thing
I
right
mean?
there. That's
I
a main
wouldn't be able
thing.
to do
Beautiful.
any of it,
Of course, of course.
What is it like, though, since you do have such a support system? How does your family take it? When you are up there, we obviously know combat sports is not the safest of activities, and it's very tough. Like, what's it kind of like for them when they do watch you fight?
Well, we'll start with my youngest. We had to leave him with a friend from our jiu-jitsu gym too, and she put on the fight for him, and he was like looking, but he's still worrying about his other stuff. He's like, oh, that's my dad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
He's
that
not
was-
like, my dad's a badass.
That was cool to see, you know what I mean? Like, oh, my kid's watching me fight, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
interesting. It's cool how to
And
see
how old's the youngest?
He's 4 years old.
Amazing.
Yeah, man.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and then our other son was with my wife in the stands watching. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So it was the first time he was there because he was there another time, but he was sick, so he was like asleep during the fight.
Oh, damn.
And the fight I win too. You know what I mean? But he watched, man, and I remember
This next one, you're just like, go to sleep, son.
Nah,
Go to sleep.
nah, man, he watched because the look on his face after this fight, like he was like. Like, dude, you okay? I'm like, I'm fine, man. Are you all right? Like,
Yeah.
like scared, but like
Yeah.
concerned. Just the look of concern for me. I was like, what's up, man? Like, he's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm good. Are you okay? So
It's like, oh, it's okay. Daddy was just throwing hands.
no, man, yeah. 13-year-old kid. Like, I don't think he's ever witnessed that. Like, when he was younger, like, I think it was like 8 or 9 for that first fight, and then, it didn't really register the way it did this time around. You know what I mean? Older, he's been training a lot more too, and then
Jiu-jitsu or just
jiu-jitsu,
MMA?
man. He actually fought at the tournament with all these kids
hell
last
yeah.
time, man.
That's awesome.
He's got a sick guillotine in the first round, man.
Nice.
How proud of you were you?
Oh, dude, it just shows the work he's been putting in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's been going after the guillotine. He's just like, I like it, and he showed. In the training, he was slapping it on anybody he could. You know what I mean? And to see him go out there, like, to know that he asked me how to go about it, and like I kind of helped him through it before the fight happened, and went out there and like literally did everything and snapped it. It was a great experience to see, man. Like, it was fun to watch, dude.
And
Are you one of
I'm
those-
sorry. How are you nervous when you see your son out there? You just didn't want to see him. You can't look.
The more he watches this guy, the more inspired he gets. So I'm on edge.
Awesome. He's on my head. You're like,
He's like, you know what? I could probably fight. I'm like, you probably could, man. Like, you
Has
want
he ever just been like, watch out, Daddy. I'm going to glove up with you one day or something
Oh,
like
dude, he tries to throw hands with me on the spot. He tries to take.
That's funny.
He tries to get the upper hand on me anytime he can.
That's funny. That's funny.
He's like, one day I'll be the big man, Daddy.
He's already taller than me, the little
Dang.
motherfucker.
No, are you one of those dads on the sidelines that's like, going buck wild? Are you just sitting there
Oh,
dead
no,
silent?
man.
Are you
No,
nervous?
No.
Are you ready in there to
I'm
rip
a
the
little-
ref's head off? Like,
No, hell no, dude. Respect, dude. Hell no. What kind of example would I be? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you see that stuff on YouTube all the
You
time. The
see it.
family's getting all mad, pushing the ref, punching the refs.
Yeah,
Like, what the
man.
hell? You see the kid like, what the hell you doing, dad or
Bro,
mom
no.
or whatever? You know,
Hell
throwing
no,
a chocolate
no.
in the ring.
No, I can't do that. Nah, I can't. Nah, I can't do that, bro. Nah, I'm really quiet. I'm really just like watching. I'll coach a little bit, but for the most part, my sensei Pedro Soriano, he's the one in the corner, taking the lead and coaching. But like I'll give just a little, my 2 cents real quick, and then I'll shut up and let him keep fighting. And it was fun. It was just fun to be there.
That's
to
awesome.
watch him. You know what I mean? Like, and to see him really his little half smile. Like, I don't want to smile, but I'm happy I want to smile. You know what I mean? I was like, you won, just
That's
be happy.
funny.
Fool.
That's funny.
half smile, mean mugging.
Yeah.
He's like, "Grr."
So I know you're talking about cage fighting. I think let's go ahead and let's do the fighter breakdown. You have a breakdown this week?
I do indeed. You know,
Let's-
we
let's
got
pull this up, so-
classic segment that I started out on this show doing. I call it the Bloody Knuckle Breakdown with your host, Adam Youngblood Araby.
Who's fighting?
Well, we're gonna post this
Well,
on our screen over here, and then he'll
we
talk
about
about it,
to
and you just
bust
give your
that
2
out
cents.
All
And
right.
But we got on the main card Mackenzie Vern versus MMA. We're gonna bring up
Where's
Bovada
Rodriguez?
versus
right?
Marina Rodriguez.
That's
Yes,
a good
sir.
fight.
I like this fight.
I
It's a
don't-
very.
I might have seen Marina Rodriguez fight a couple of times. I'm not
Yep.
sure, but
She knocked out Sabina Mazo.
that's
She stopped the hype train.
Ooh.
I'm telling you, she's a little. I feel like she's
knocked
a little
her
bit
out?
on. Yes.
Striking?
Yep. Straight right down the pipe. Boom. Caught her. An amazing athlete as well. Highly collegiate athletic background. And just like really goes to show what happens when an athlete comes into combat sports. You can even start in your 20s
What
and
did
still
she-
go.
Sabina's a cool. This is,
Oh, Sabina's amazing.
Oh,
Like
Sabina's
Sabina's great.
great, man.
Like
I
her
sparred with her.
personality.
oh,
Really?
she switched over
Dude,
with
I sparred with her.
Arthur and her went over.
Yeah, bro.
yeah.
Dude, she sparred with us on Friday, and she was doing the same thing to everybody. I think she was doing this like head kick. I think she kicked everybody in the eye that day, dude. Everybody walked out with like a little pink
Yeah.
mark, you know what I mean, from the toe, just like.
oh, jeez.
I've only seen her in her
She goes
interviews,
hard,
but like,
man.
but seems like a very sweet person too.
No, she's great.
She's chill.
She's
So-
great.
So Sabina, Tabitha, Piera.
Piera, this new girl came. Her name is Natalie, and
Oh, the little.
she's good,
Yeah,
dude.
she's good.
Hell
She's
yeah.
like purple or brown, right?
She's a jiu-jitsu.
Legit jiu-jitsu
Yeah,
player.
she's a jiu-jitsu specialist, I would say. But her striking looked on point in her last fight too. You know what I mean? And she's been a couple of them been working with us in the higher division too, man.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
been fun
yeah.
to be a part of like watching that them grow.
So I've been going down to
And Pierre's a champion, dude. Pierre's LFA champion already. You know, fighting on the Contender Series on the Tuesday.
what's that?
Heck
guy's-
yeah.
You know Elvis?
Elvis.
Yeah, from Pride.
Elvis from
Elvis
Pride.
from
Yeah,
Pride.
He fought Sakuraba Elvis.
Elvis.
Was I think
that one's not as a well-known
Brazilian
name.
Jiu-jitsu like legend, dude.
Mm.
I think he was Elvis. Anyways, he's been training at his
See, I'm a
spot.
striking kickboxing guy.
He's been training at his spot too.
Hmm.
So we went over there.
awesome.
Nice,
Showed me
man.
them.
It's amazing.
The whole girl squad, huh?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome, man.
Just
Hey.
step 4. There's another wrestling girl they bring in sometimes too.
Really?
Yeah, I think she's like maybe high school, transitioning to college. She's pretty good
Oh
too.
man, awesome.
She reminds me of
amazing to
Bree-
hear.
Bree Robinson. You know Bree Robinson?
Oh,
He's like one of Eddie's purple belts.
Bree JJ.
No.
Bree JJ.
No, not that
Her
one.
name is Bree JJ is Bree Sticks. This is
Never mind.
BRI instead of BRE. No, she's
Really?
unreal, dude. Like
I don't think I heard of her, man. But
people are gonna start.
cool.
the jiu-jitsu
Nah,
world.
awesome. That's
Girl
good to
is
hear.
No, bro.
That's crazy.
All right. If you want to expand a little bit too for us, Robert, so we can read off the names and
You see the
the
first
records,
fight and just break him down.
You know, And I feel like we have a perfect guest to break down these fights, especially with a grappling background.
Hell yeah, man.
We got it
I
to
hope
kick
I-
off this amazing main card. We have Phil Megatron Haas taking on Deron Winn, a man who I actually got to watch his last fight before he entered the UFC at the Golden Boy Promotions
Deron
versus
Winn?
Tom Lawler. Yes, that was an amazing fight. No one knew his name, and we all called him Mini DC. But as soon as he got in there and threw hands, we were going buck wild. That was so much a fun fight, and I've been a fan of this guy ever since. But breaking down, we have Phil Haas coming in a -310 favorite. Deron Winn is a +240 underdog.
Okay.
It's a really interesting fight because it really comes down to styles. Both are obviously high-level wrestlers. Deron Winn, I would rank a little bit higher in terms of traditional wrestling. But if we're going to go wrestling styles, we have MMA wrestling on Phil Haas' size and traditional wrestling on Deron Winn. Because within his last few fights, I think he's almost, I want to say he's top 5 within the light heavyweight division if he gets one more takedown in terms of takedown percentages.
Win
Like,
or Haas?
Win.
Okay.
Yeah. And he went from like his first few fights against like Eric Spicely and a few others, Antonio Arroyo. He was trying too hard to be a striker, I think. You know, he got away from it. We were actually, me and Rob were talking about this before the show started. And you see this a lot within grapplers where when they start to find success with the hands, they get away from that natural born skill set. And that happened a bit in the first few fights of Deron Winn's UFC tenure. And even watching that Tom Lawler fight live, he completely was just trying to throw hands and head kicks, and didn't really use his wrestling too much. Now he's really utilized it, and I really think, like I said, it comes down to what do you prefer, MMA wrestling or traditional wrestling. I think if Deron Winn comes out and tries to take Phil Haas down, and just tries to grind it out and, just smother him, I think he wins this fight. Although I really like the MMA style of Phil Haas, and then also, too, knocking out a guy like Jacob Malkoun. So he's proven he has knockout power. And on top of it as well, I believe he's about 6 foot, 6'2", and Deron Winn is 5'6", 5'5". And,
what weight is this?
Middleweight.
Middleweight? He's 5'6" in middleweight?
Yes, sir.
No freaking
I
way.
watched him fight at 205.
5'6".
5'6".
Rage, you seeing this?
Yeah.
Rage.
Rage, you seeing
No,
this?
for real, man.
It's like, and what's interesting about Deron Winn, though, is like, I've heard this argument with everyone. He should be at welterweight. Even his own coach, DC, says he should
That's
be
like
at
me fighting
welterweight.
205, dude.
Imagine yourself.
I'm 5'8", but still.
My one worry, though, with everyone saying, oh, he should be like lower, he should be smaller, he should be cutting weight. He's missed weight at middleweight. And
This
I don't know
dude-
why everyone thinks like he should fight at middle or at welterweight when the man struggles to make middleweight. And I'd say stay at middleweight or even 205.
It's a lifestyle choice he needs to make. If not, you know what I mean? Like,
Eat clean,
but
365.
if you want to do that, at least make the weight, dude. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Phil Haas.
I'm going
dude.
with Phil Haas on this one. I'm a
Yeah.
big believer in MMA wrestling versus traditional wrestling.
It's MMA, man. It's an
Yeah,
MMA
and I
fight.
feel like Deron Winn's been a little bit too inconsistent within his
never
UFC tenure for me to really pick him. He's had a lot of hype, especially coming into the UFC, by the fact that DC does corner him and the fact that, obviously he's this high-level collegiate wrestler. But like I said, when you see a guy like Phil Haas who's able to put it all together and has knockout power and is getting better as he progresses in his MMA fights, and really the only times he's struggled in MMA is really those big moments with his World Series of Fighting fights and loss. I like Phil Haas. I'm taking MMA wrestling on this one.
Yeah, I'll go Phil Haas too. His striking is nice too.
But I am a fan of you, Deron Winn. I still remember that fight.
Yeah,
You got us all up on our feet. Before I was very sad watching Chuck Liddell get knocked out.
Yeah.
That was, yeah. But it was also fun. I was watching the street fight in the middle of the crowd, too. So I was watching 2 fights going on at the same time. Yeah, I don't know what was more exciting. Like the Chuck Liddell Tito Ortiz fight, or like some little tiny guy in the crowd was beating the hell out of this big old bald dude. And I was also worried. I'm like, I really hope that doesn't break out into this part of the crowd. Because I got to drive my friend home. Like, that was a fun night. Joey, who you picking?
Win all day.
Taking Win. All right.
right.
Going against it. All right. And
I
we
bet you're a
just
torta.
mentioned her and just talked about her. We have Sabina Mazo coming in at a -175 favorite, taking on Maria Agapova, who's coming in at a +145 underdog. This is a really interesting fight. These are two hot prospects, you know, especially within the 125 division.
This is good. Yeah.
It really only, you know, the tough part about this division is there's not many competitors in it. There's not too many contenders. So a lot of these prospects, in my opinion, don't get enough of the fights and time that they really need to get to those really refined skill sets.
It's
And you're
a
taking,
straight
and they,
shot.
yeah, and they have to take on a, you know, and arguably the second greatest mixed
Valentina,
martial
man,
artist,
yeah.
Valentina. But I really like Sabina Mazo for this fight. You know, I think she's a very great outfighter as well. You know,
She's a good-
especially if
she's
she
a
can
great
stay
striker,
on the
man.
outside,
Yeah.
like, you know, just producing a lot of leg kicks and working the jab. And then on top of it as well, you know, I'm sure you can attest to this. She's been in the gi a lot, working on her jiu-jitsu, working on her ground game to become a more well-rounded MMA fighter. Maria Agapova is a great striker and definitely has that killer mindset, and actually has shown great flashes of grappling, especially within her get-ups. You know, do I think Maria, out of these fighters, are going to come out shooting blast doubles? No. I think this is really going to come down to who can win their ranges. And I really like Sabina Mazo on this one, although Maria Agapova, I believe, has been a little bit more recently active. I like what Sabina Mazo has shown in her last fights, and especially just the fact that I think she has a little bit more of a well-rounded game. So I'm taking Mazo.
I'll take Mazel too, man. Hell yeah.
Joey?
Mazel tov all day.
I knew you were gonna say it. I knew it. I was like, I was gonna say you taking Mazel Tov, and I knew
Shout
it.
out to my Jewish wife. She's beautiful.
Shout
baby.
out.
That's right. All right.
Shout out to all the Jewish people. I constantly get mistaken for being Jewish, even though I'm Persian. And but lovely people. And moving on, we have the flyweight division, one of the most underrated divisions. Even still, I think they're not getting enough respect they should, especially for a guy like Mateus Nicolau, who's coming in at a -200 favorite, taking on Tim Awkward Elliott, who's coming in at a -160 favorite. The strengths that Tim Elliott brings into this fight that I think he could really win is his pace and the fact that he has such a
Yeah.
really odd game.
Awkward. Yeah.
He's really, really, like, the nickname fits. He's awkward, especially for this flyweight division. He's a little bit of a taller flyweight, I believe at 5'9", I want to say.
That's-
5'9".
yeah, hell yeah, that's
So a
tall,
taller, like, you know, a taller flyweight, a little bit more of that slimmer, skinny body. And so he's able to get out of, like, you know,
My bad. I thought I had to sneeze.
you're all good.
No COVID here,
And
bro.
no COVID here.
Been vaccinated. I'm good.
We all good, guys. And but with Tim Awkward Elliott, the thing that I really think could win him this fight is that pace. But with Matthias Nicolau, he carries knockout power in his flyweight, in the
Is
flyweight
he?
division.
Is he a
he's
striker?
he's a striker with knockout power within the
Well,
flyweight
how's his
division.
grappling?
It's all right.
All
You know,
right.
it's not the greatest. He has good get-ups. He definitely can keep the fight standing. The
Okay.
thing that I do worry about is the fact that if you look at Tim Elliott's grappling, you know, again, awkward. It's very weird.
gets
He
weird
moves
take-
around.
but their takedowns, man,
Their
they're
takedowns,
weird, but they-
and it's really from the oddest positions too. It'll be like he'll be on the side of you and then just like drag you down and it just like trips you, and he just like really knows how to use his frame and weight. But I think Matthias Nicolau, you know, there's enough film on Tim Elliott out there, and Matthias Nicolau is still coming up within the flyweight division. He knocked down Louis Smolka 3 times in his fight. So
Oh,
he
yeah.
really proves, you know, he can take on that high level competition. I'm taking the striker on this one. You know, I really think, you know, Matthias Nicolau is going to find his time, find his range, and get that counter shot.
Yeah, I'll go with Nicolau too. Tim Elliott, I don't think I've seen Nicolau fight before, but if he dropped Smoker 3 times, dude, Tim Elliott, he's been around a long time, but
He's had some wear and tear,
Yeah,
even dating back
he's-
to WEC days.
he's been around a long time, dude. So for him to keep going, you know, maybe he can pull off a Clay Guida and like pull a run together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
That'd be great. You know, be happy to see that.
Hey, love Tim Elliott.
But I'm gonna take Nicolau on
young,
this one,
hungry
too.
prospect.
Yeah, man. Knockout power.
Knockout power. You know, I'm always going to support it. And an accurate striker, too. You know,
Oh,
not just has the
absolutely.
knockout power, but knows where to find his ranges, and especially his counter shots. Joey.
Big shout out to my homie back in the 80s, E.T. Elliott. Be good.
All right.
No, okay.
You know,
okay,
that's my
respect
E.T.
it,
impression, you know.
Just-
Elliott.
You just picked him for that.
No, he's just going against my pick. is
I
really
like going against him.
He just likes picking against me, you know. It is what it is.
I
It's
don't-
an even bet, right?
I don't
even
like
bet,
him.
you know?
We're both favorites, right?
Hey man, we you know
It's a good bet.
we're back and
Yeah.
forth on this burrito bets. You know, a lot
They
of
said
burritos.
torta, man.
I said torta.
Yeah, we gotta get some tortas.
Yeah, because
Alright.
next time, I can't say nothing. I can't. I'm gonna say something.
Hey,
but I was like,
hey, this is a clean show now, Joey. We say
I didn't say anything.
I know.
You made out with the ring girl. I didn't. And took out for tortas.
and sir, it was Italian food. Moving on. And
You had to come to the show with the
That's a
freaking
long
hoodie.
neck, man. Good how
Yeah.
that. Ain't no hiding that, man. You gonna come in.
if you were wondering, go back and check the show when I wear a hoodie the whole time.
He has a long ass neck. That's a lot of damn hickeys.
It's a lot of coverage. And,
Her lips were probably sore the other night.
Oh, shit.
all right.
I should do one of those what the AMSR videos that
This poor girl. This poor girl is getting tortured. She went on one date with a nice guy and now is getting the constant jokes.
Hey, you
on it.
actually pulled the day off that?
Hey, I did.
He did.
I did. You know, I
lucky.
did, sir.
And
Hey.
yeah,
High five.
All
My
right.
wife don't see it.
with a card girl, and I was like, yo,
And I was the camera operator guy. Shout out to me in my game.
Wow, very impressed.
I thought it was a joke. You
No,
was
it was
just
true.
running,
No.
man.
It's the truth. That's why I was so nervous. Because
Because the reason why I knew he went on a date, because I called him. He's, I'm going on a date. I'm like, what? And the next weekend, next show we had, freaking turtleneck and freaking hoodie, long ass neck. That was a lot of hickeys. Man.
Shout out to Lucy. Moving on.
Next fight.
I know. Next fight. Next type of fight. Moving on. We have. Oh my God! I'll never live that one down. We have Randy Rude Boy Brown coming in a minus 230 favorite, taking on Jared Gooden, who's coming in a minus 185 underdog. This is a really great fight, especially for the welterweight division. You know, if the one I really love Randy Brown as a prospect, although he's a bit older, he's about 31, 32. Jared Gooden's about 28. Both are really good fighters. Both really their emphasis is really good striking and knockout power. But Randy Brown, as he's developed as a mixed martial artist, has just gotten a better, more well-rounded game. When he needs to grapple, he knows when he needs to grapple. When he needs to strike, he knows when he needs to strike. He really knows how to utilize his experience and his fight IQ. That's one thing I really like. If his wrestling was just at like a little bit higher level, if we're going on a scale 1 to 10, it's like about a 6 right now. If it was at an 8, top 15 all day, especially for the competition he's faced. Vicente Luque, Nico Price,
Oh, man, yeah.
wins against Brian Barberina, you know, and a few others within the welterweight division. So he's one of those guys that's really underrated, always kind of on the outside of the top 15. But if he just could really up that wrestling and just put a few things together, I think he could make easily a run.
Couple fights, you know.
Yeah, easily get within that top 15. Jared Gooden, again, good fight IQ fighter, lots of experience, 18-6. You know, a great striker and knows his strengths. But I really like Randy Rude Boy Brown for this one, especially just for the fact that if you look at his knockouts, they're very vicious.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
he's definitely got some great knockout power and some highlight reel KOs. And like I said, I'm taking a little bit more, well, not experienced fighter, but a little bit more, I'd say, seasoned and aged fighter. You know,
Okay.
and Jared
Experience.
or Randy
over, yeah.
Rude Boy Brown.
Dude, I love his nickname too. Rude Boy.
Oh no, he's Jamaican,
Yeah, I
man.
think-
Representing Jamaica in there. You know, you got to say it right. Rude Boy.
That's your Jamaican accent.
That was the best I could pull off. You
Bop,
know?
bop, rude boy.
There you go, Joey. Thank
God
you.
have
you know.
mercy.
See, I am the straight guy here. We got Joey for the comedy impressions.
Like,
Lewis.
that was a cute Jamaican, and you know, you tried.
I tried. You know, I
Rude
tried.
boy. So who you going for?
Ah, man, I like Gooden, man. He puts on good fights, but I the devastating knockouts I have witnessed from Randy Brown. So I'm gonna go Brown, man. I think that's a great fight.
Oh,
for
I'm
the
so excited
night,
for
man.
this one.
That's a sick fight. But
This is my fight of the night pick.
I would agree, dude.
This is my bloody knuckles pick,
Yeah.
as we're gonna call it
And
now.
sometimes those don't live up to the hype. You know what I mean? Because it's they know the hype going in. But I think this one's gonna be good. I'm gonna go Randy Rude Boy Brown.
I think somebody's going to sleep in this one.
Absolutely.
Joey.
Well, I think I'm actually going for Randy Rude Boy Brown.
It's finally on my side,
Clean
you know.
sweep,
Finally
yeah.
listening to my advice, Joey. Finally, maybe you'll finally win one of these bets. Moving on to the main event, you know.
This guy.
We got Mackenzie Dern coming in at a minus 170 favorite, taking on Marina Rodriguez, who's a plus 140 underdog. If you look at Marina Rodriguez's combat sports career and just athletic background, it's really fascinating. She only started training at about 22, and the way she actually got into, you know, combat sports was she was a former athlete, you know, still had a lot of competitiveness, so walked into a kickboxing gym one day and fell in love, and the rest was history.
That's all it takes,
Yeah,
man.
that's
Yeah.
all it
Now look
takes.
at her.
Yeah, you know, and now look at her,
Yeah.
you know, able to top hot prospects like Sabina Mazo, and then on top of it as well, fighting some of the better competition within the 125 division. But as we've seen Mackenzie Dern, since she's gotten with her amazing coach down at Rufka, you know, shout out to my boy Moses Marietta, who also trains down there, and just the whole Rufka gym. You know, Jason Perillo, when he gets with a lot of fighters, especially grapplers, you just see their striking just evolutionizes. You know, especially, you know, Mackenzie Dern. If you look at her boxing and just specifically her jab, and since she's gotten
been
with
coming
Jason
together,
Perillo,
man. It's been
has gotten
coming together
so
over the
much
past couple
better.
fights.
Yeah, you know, I really, really like this fight. Obviously, we know well accomplished jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
You know, big lineage. You know, definitely has
Dude,
made a name for herself.
I remember seeing Jason Perillo in the corner for Johnny Tapia.
Oh,
the
yeah?
boxer used to coach like back in the day. Dude.
Oh, wow.
I don't know when that was, but dude was. I just remember recognizing him like when I saw. I don't know. I think it was BJ Penn fighting back in those times, and I put two and two together like recently, and I was like, wait, he coached boxing way back when
He
in
was
the
a
good old
professional
days, dude.
boxer.
So yeah, you know what I mean. So that coach, man, that's a lot of experience to have. So Mackenzie, I'm gonna make my pick right now. I'm just going Mackenzie Dern.
I'm
on that,
easily.
yeah.
I agree with that. As much as I like Marina Rodriguez, and like I said, she's a great athlete. Obviously displayed that she has knockout power, you know, and really her MMA game is coming together. I'm taking the more experienced combat athlete and the one that's just had a lot of momentum. Mackenzie Dern has had a
Mackenzie Dern,
lot
she
of
has.
momentum recently. You know,
Which
only
one?
one loss within MMA, and every fight we see her, she gets better. Especially within that striking department. She's putting it together. Her boxing's coming together. She's throwing more leg kicks. She's throwing more kicks in general. She doesn't just have to be like this grinded out, looking for the submission style grappler, or even when you do see, you know, a lot of grapplers, like as we mentioned before, do find success with the hands, just trying to like rip a chick's head off, you know, just trying to look for the knockout. She knows when to pick her moments. So I'm taking the more well-rounded MMA athlete and the one with the very much more experience, Mackenzie Dern.
Oh, my
Joey?
turn.
Yeah, man.
And one left.
Well, I'm betting you a foot long for this one.
Okay.
I'm not talking about Subway.
Lord.
Rodriguez, all day.
Yo, you just
I would.
might as well just give him your money right now.
I know, right? I'm broke right now, Joey.
The only one that I'm gonna tell you that, Joey. I've been
That foot long coming in hot, son.
I've been at Ruka here and there for the last few months, and I remember from when she used to train at Black House. She is a different person after she had the baby. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay, I changed my mind. Mackenzie.
You gotta do it.
Oh,
It's
changes
too
his
late.
mind now.
It's
Makes
too
the
late.
bet, but changes his mind after Robert recommends it.
What happened to the foot long, bro?
I honestly,
He'll get it.
I think being a mother changed.
Oh, yeah. She's definitely been more motivated since she became a
man.
parent.
She's and she looks good, dude.
She is way more in shape than you would think. You know,
Mm-hmm.
having a baby, maybe not as dedicated.
Well,
not
she
as-
fought right after the baby, remember? And that
Pretty
was a tough
soon.
fight. She didn't get knocked out or anything, but it was a tough fight for her, you know. And,
Hey, showed she has grit.
and she wanted to be back, you know.
I mean, when you train, when one of your main
You give-
sparring partners is Cheeto Vera.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard not to
Yeah.
get good, right? You gotta be
And
trying
Max
really hard.
Tucker, too. Like,
Oh, Max, yeah,
Max is
dude.
a
Shout
mother-
out.
yeah.
MF Tucker.
Yeah.
MF
dude.
Tucker.
That kid
That dude's
Shout out
something
that
special.
kid.
is something
Something
special.
special.
Yeah.
He is, right?
Dude, we used to, I used to train with him at Black House, and we do like I forgot what it was. I think we were hand fighting and wrestling, and he'd throw his legs like I know, like I just imagined it being a strike, like that would just like, you know what I mean? But he was doing some like leg shit as far as like the grappling. I was like, dude, how do you do that? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense. He's like, what is he? How old is he? He's young,
He's
dude.
like 19.
Young and lanky and tall, dude. Like, something special. That dude's gonna be, yeah.
What
Yeah.
he has that people at his age normally don't, unless they came up in striking, is spacing.
Yes.
And how to hold the
Yeah.
space, how to get out of the way, and watching the movement. If you watch that dude, he cuts an enormous amount of space like you came from like a karate point.
Yeah.
And a
he's
125
up
or
and
two,
out.
right?
He's light.
Dude, he's 105. Like,
I don't think he's I don't even think he's
hey,
there yet.
I pick him up toothpick and
I mean, he's probably like 125, probably. You know, what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, but
when he's sweating, he got that Blake the Builder sweat, maybe.
man, but he's
125.
nah,
Yeah.
dude's
You got
gonna
that
be
Blake the
good.
Builder sweat.
He-
The sweat T-shirt contest.
We'll get Tucker in.
that's
Yeah,
it,
let's
yeah.
get him. I
That's
want to
the
meet that
dude you guys
kid.
need to talk to.
So it's all about I'm changing McKenzie. Okay, I'll give you
he's
that.
changing
So
now.
so I'm changing my
It's a
vote
solid-
right now. It's a solid.
It's a solid move.
Now
Mackenzie's got.
I'm so
straight-
salty.
You know, you've heard her crack before. For a person who's not a striker, when she hits those mitts and that overhand right
yeah,
now,
man. And then if you
that's
get
that girl.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
if you get past that, you gotta grapple with her. Like it's
World champ.
I've been converted.
champ?
What you can do? You can take her down.
Oh, been
Yeah,
converted
what-
now,
what do you-
Joey.
Options. She has one option.
she's gotta
Hopefully outstrike.
sprawl and brawl. That's what she's gotta
Yeah.
do. You know what I mean? And
Laying that straight right.
Yeah,
That's
man,
that's
that-
all I really see from
at the end
Marina
of the day,
Rodriguez.
yeah, at the end of the day, there's just too many ways for her to win.
Yeah.
To not
That's
go for it.
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just her arsenal's just getting too good, you know. And I really think like a few more fights. I really, like I said, just get her a little more developed. I think her when she does get to the title and gets her
She'll
title fight,
Valentina
that's gonna be
eventually.
a fun fight to
Yeah.
watch.
she'll
That's
fight
gonna be a
Valentina.
fun one to watch.
It's a fun one to watch, but that's where we go back to the conversation we had. What do you do when you build your striking for so long to get on par, have success, but the key to success to beating Valentina is trying to get her on the ground, right? And even though everybody knows that Valentina's freaking pretty badass on the ground,
The-
but
yeah.
there's
I was about
there's
to
levels,
say.
I'm pretty sure that
Valentina is just
submissions.
she's just well rounded everywhere, man.
Well, the
Like,
hard
you don't
part
wanna-
about Valentina, I don't
striking
think,
or grappling, you don't
Yeah.
want to do either of them with her.
as incredible as an athlete Valentina is, but like I think the real key to her success out of everything she has, her fight IQ.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she has a wealth of combat sports experience.
Yep.
You know, has literally been training since a young child, and on top of it as well, just a naturally high IQ human being. I believe has multiple degrees, speaks 7 languages,
Yeah.
real life Black Widow basically. You know, and on top of it as well, the composure
Black
she
Widow,
shows
yeah.
in every fight and knows like when to take her shots, when to pick it, when to set the pace. Like we all know she could like just easily, like, especially within her last fight against the was it Lauren Murphy? I believe was her last fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like everyone's saying, oh, why doesn't she just take her out? She could beat her in the first round. She could blah blah blah, blah, you know. And but what it is that no, when you're that disciplined into your style and have that level of fight IQ, you know exactly what to do and you're going to win on every part, not just points, not just knockouts, not just on the ground. You're going to use your fight IQ and experience to your advantage.
I got a new idea. You guys all got 1 minute each, okay?
Oh hell.
Okay.
So
I
I'm gonna
don't-
go with you first.
I
I'll
can't.
see
Right.
what you said. Joey,
What I
you
do?
got 1 minute. We're gonna say, if you were Mackenzie Dern, what would your game plan be against Shevchenko? Or coach? You can put it in the
fun.
coach's perspective or her perspective. Let's go coach's perspective. I think I'm gonna do this every week when you got.
I love this.
Wow.
I love this idea.
It's fun. Yeah.
If I'm
It's fun,
coaching, if
actually.
I'm coaching McKenzie,
Yeah,
what would I tell her to do?
What would you?
fighting Shevchenko, the current champion.
I'll tell her just to go in, try to do a double, take him down and ground and pound all day.
Okay.
Take down the ground and pound all day. If not, choke the B out.
Yeah, man.
And that's it.
Okay. Let's go with Adam. What do you think?
I feel like, okay, if I was in her corner and were to coach her, First thing I would tell her is try to control the space. You can't let Valentina get comfortable at 1 minute and let her start to set up her traps. You have to go find a way to cut off the space and make it a bit of a dirty fight. And if you can, try and back her up against the cage and use your bigger size and use the fact that you are the more physically strong grappler to your advantage. So what make it a dirty fight, dirty box, in-fight a lot, and get her down to the ground to eventually use your superior grappling to get her down. And whether that be you have to do that throughout 5 rounds to grind it out, or if you can snag the submission, but always try to establish the position every time. Because otherwise, if you let her, even for a second, get her positioning, get her stance, just keep her, allow her to get her composure back at 1 second, the fight's over. So I'd say you have to make it a dirty fight and try to control the spacing and timing as much as you can to get it down to the ground.
Okay. Now the guest of honor.
Absolutely. If I was in her corner, I would say just play your strengths. You know what I mean? You know what you're good at. The striking is great, but it's got to set up your strength. You know what I mean? If you're gonna go in there against a champion like Valentina, yeah, man, you gotta get her against the cage and sock her up, with elbows, get her bleeding, get that nose going. You know what I mean? Just make it hell for her, and eventually, you could. She's the kind of grappler, she could take her back on her feet and choke her out. You know what I mean? I would say, just play your strengths, man. Jiu-jitsu is what you're great at, and the striking has come this far. So by the time she does see her, like if I was a coach at the time, just play your strengths. Jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and make it a dogfight.
Yeah. That's good. This has been a great bloody breakdown segment right here. This is awesome.
It's been one of my
Now,
favorites.
this is all about you now. This is time to sell everybody about the show in November. Let's just give a big shout out to all your coaches.
All right.
If you
All
have
your
sponsors,
sponsors.
once again, do your shout out to your family restaurant again. But let people know they got to come November. Tell them right now what they got to do.
All right. So November 5th, we fighting. Our division is going to be out there. Me and my boy Raymond Martinez is going to be on the card. Come check us out, man. We're here. We're excited to watch, and we're always ready to fight, man. So come watch that. It's going to be fun. Tickets are on sale, fightersrep.com. And just like I said, tell them Toro sent you, and you'll be good. You know what I mean? And shout out to my teams, man. I want to thank Black House MMA, Bolt Wrestling, Our Division, Coach Rage, Coach Matthias, Coach Kenny, the Bolt, you know what I mean? All you guys, thank you so much for everything you guys do for me and get me along this far. I want to say thank you to my jiu-jitsu Sensei Pedro. I love you. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for training me this far, 11 years, brown belt in jiu-jitsu, man, and giving me this platform, this base, to take into my MMA game. And I want to say thank you to him and my family, man. Tasco Restaurant, the Moreno Familia. I love you guys so much. And, come check us out, man. Come party with us.
Awesome. And where can they find you on your social platforms?
Social media, best is on Instagram, man. So it's Toro Jitsu, TORO_JITSU. And yeah, man, come watch the journey. Come be a part of it. And I'll show you guys some good stuff.
Awesome. Adam, where can they find you?
As always, Adam.Araby on Instagram.
And you can find me everywhere from TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Joey the Bull, Santana Hinojosa in the house. Once again, thank you for coming on our show again.
Thank you guys for having me, man.
Yeah.
Once again, this has been a great,
It's been great,
Jim
man.
Crasher show.
Appreciate it.
We won't be on next week. We'll be off. And big shout out to Our Life CBD, Obikano Jiu-Jitsu.
Obikano Jiu-Jitsu, bro.
Always
Always
ready
meals.
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 Great food. I want some more samples, man, because I can only eat this small. I want to eat them all day.
Anywhere else we're forgetting, Robert?
Live Jits, probably. Live Jits.
Oh, shout out to Live Jits as
Jits.
also.
Was it Jams? Foster and
Foster for Jiu-Jitsu.
I always forget to give them a shout out. They've been a big supporter of our show too.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
But yeah, big shout out to everybody. Once again, we won't be on next week. Don't cry, but I'll still
Unfortunately.
just watch my shows on Instagram.
Rewatch
TikTok.
this one.
Yeah, rewatch this. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. If you missed the show tonight, tell a friend. If you catch us right at the end of the show.
Share, like, subscribe. Share it to all your friends.
Yeah, and then if you want to date with Adam, hit him up. He's on Instagram.
My
man.
DMs are open.
Long neck.
Yeah.
Long neck. A lot of hickeys.
Get at them quick, man.
It's probably taking an hour to go up and down.
Spots are feelings.
Once again, thank you again. Peace out.